Okay, hi guys. I wanted to share with you a little bit about what our homeschooling looks like because we are 4 weeks into our new year. We came home from Kenya. We had taken 5 weeks off for that trip, or maybe 6. I'm not even sure. We normally school year round, like 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So anyway, we switched. We came home. We did 6 weeks, and then for whatever reason that I'm not ready to tell you about quite yet, we just kept going. So we switched years at the end of that 6 weeks and have done 4 more. So we've just been doing 10 in a row. But when we switch grades, I like to switch how I'm doing things. And I switched one thing that is working so well for me. So I want to share with you today what that is. It is really saving my life right now. Anyway, my mom's here. Look at my mom. She's in an apron. Mom, I love you in an apron. It looks good. She's been here for 2 weeks tomorrow. Yeah. Been here for 2 weeks and she's helped me so much. So today, like some days she's taking the little girls out in the morning when I'm doing school. Oh my goodness. It's kind of made me want to put the little girls in a preschool, just like Noelle and Hope, because it helps so much.
I'm more the color of your kids. My husband's
I wish I had
very
that tan.
upset. My husband's really upset because he's preparing for a hurricane in Florida and I'm helping Sarah. He goes, tell her, this is a big sacrifice for me.
All he has to do is like shut his hurricane windows,
That's right. And he gets on a plane tomorrow.
Yeah, they're meeting in Canada for the weekend. And then I think they're both coming back here. Not just for a few days because we haven't seen my dad for a while. So anyway, she's been very helpful to me because when she's here without my dad, she's extremely helpful. Yeah, she has a lot of time. I know. You're helpful when you're with him, but more helpful when So she's taken the girls a couple times and I'm amazed at how much more school I get done. That's when it gets a little tempting to like maybe send them off a couple days a week for the morning. But knowing me, I probably won't do it. But she's trying to talk me into maybe hiring somebody in the mornings once in a while. It would help a lot. Anyway, Hope, it's just Hope. There's always one I feel like that I have that are at the age where if they're not 100% supervised, they will find trouble. And so when you're teaching, you know, some days she'll color and play with activities very well, and other days she sneaks off when I'm just that moment I'm not looking, and she comes back with conditioner all through her hair that she got a hold of, or she's playing in the toilet, or who knows what. So when she gets out of that stage, Destiny will probably get in it, but it's just how it goes. I'm used to homeschooling that way, but it sure does help when they are gone for a minute. So anyway, I got a lot of school done. And then today, her last day here, I took advantage of her this afternoon. So I went and took a shower that was much needed. Some of you know what that's like. Yes?
We haven't done on the computer.
No, actually go play outside. And so when I took a shower and a nap, which was awesome, in my room, which I don't usually get to do as much because gotta run the show. But she made a bunch of dinners for me. A friend of mine brought over some Nigerian stew, which I'm really excited about. It's kind of, I think it might have peanut butter in it, and it's chicken. It looks really good. We're gonna eat that with some brown rice. And then my mom made a bunch of quiche. Quiches? Is quiches plural? I'm not sure. I think quiche. So we got these for the kids. They have milk in them. And I had some store-bought crusts, and then these two are for whoever wants to eat lower carb. They have almond milk in them and no crust. It's spinach, all but one. One of them is collard greens because I was out of spinach, and mozzarella cheese and eggs. What else did you put in them?
Cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper. They're so good. This is what she found online. If you want to.
I googled easiest quiche.
It worked, and then
spinach quiche.
And then she's also making some tuna cheese casserole that I've had on my menu plan for a couple months now and never got around to making. This one has cauliflower in it, but then some of my cauliflower was bad, so we're doing one for the kids that have noodles at the bottom, which they'll like better anyway, just making the same recipe. So it's basically cauliflower, cheese, cream cheese, peas, onions, fried in butter with that, and then topped with cheese. It looks really good. I've been craving macaroni and cheese. I'm hoping this solves that craving. I appreciate it so much. So we'll have a few meals ahead of me. It makes me really want to also see, she's inspiring me. It makes me want to take like a day a week or just half a day and just do more meal prep than I already do. The meal prep I do is like for kids' breakfasts and lunches that I usually try to do a bunch of that, making hard-boiled eggs and potatoes and rice and yogurt and granola on Tuesdays. But if I had a day where I could focus on dinners, I think that would help my week a lot. You want water? Okay. Just a tiny bit. You gonna drink it? They will like that one. We have a friend at church who keeps giving us all these tomatoes and peppers, and he's the one that gave us all the kale. Oh, they look so good. I want to make some stuffed peppers soon. That also sounds good, doesn't it? I just found a recipe where you can make stuffed peppers in a pressure cooker, Mom.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I've heard about that in the Instant Pot.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds so easy.
In fact, I have a
Four of
friend
them
that
here.
makes them all ahead of time and keeps them in the fridge, and they eat them for lunch and everything.
Oh,
Who told me
yum.
about that? I forget.
More? Okay. Okay, on to the homeschool thing. I want to share this with you. First of all, let's admire my cupboards. I finally got a second one. A lot of you guys actually told me to check Walmart, and initially I checked and Walmart's price was a little higher than what I wanted, than what I had gotten the first one on Amazon. And then I kept checking, and sure enough, they did a rollback and I got the same price, if not a little less than what I had originally gotten at on Amazon. So I love these cupboards. They're System Build, I think is the brand. They're very sturdy and heavy for furniture that you have to build yourself. I always buy furniture I have to build myself. That's the level of furniture I'm buying around here. So I got one for my playroom, which I'll show you another day. And I have these two in my schoolroom. So now pretty much everything is behind a closed door and I love it. 2 years ago, I had a checklist for the kids where they had something like this, where they had to check off what they did every day. This is dry erase marker here of something we were doing this summer. But the blue, you can see this last year, I tried taking the same thing, and instead of a checklist, I scheduled out their time, and that was somewhat effective, but not quite as much as a checklist. I thought it worked really well in the very beginning, but I had some kids, and I feel like I always have some kids who enter in and phase out of of that phase where they're not getting everything done every day, and it was harder for me to tell and hold them accountable. Right now I have 7 students. Last year I had 6 students, so that's a lot to kind of keep on top of every day and make sure they did everything without necessarily meeting with them every day. And so I had some kids like falling behind in one subject or another that they didn't like as much. So I wanted to try something new this year. So this year I just had them get these simple notebooks. We had plenty from last year, which we picked up, I think they were like 15 cents or something, so we had gotten a stack of them. And we don't have any extra now, but that's fine. They each took a notebook, and every week, I like to meet with my kids once a week, mostly anyway, especially the older 4. So every child has a checklist like this. And when I'm meeting with them, I brought one of my big kids, this is Micah's, and then one of my younger kids. So all the way down to Eli, my oldest 6, all have a checklist. So they can come work independently. That's always my goal with them. I want them to work as independently as possible because I do have 7 students. So I want to spend time with them where I need to, but when I don't need to spend time with them, I want them to know how to come, just get their work done. So this morning, I have some clips I took this morning. We weren't even ready for the day. It was before 9. I think a lot of the clips were before even 8. So they came, they got their breakfast in the morning, and they just started working through their checklist. So Micah can take his checklist and just look at all the things that he can do without me, and he can work on them. And for him, I had one thing today that he needed to come see me about, so he would save that for when I'm available. I like personally to get most of what I need to do with them done in the morning. I know myself right now, the times I focus the best is in the morning, so I want to get stuff done with them in the morning. So I work right away with Noelle, who she does not have a checklist. She's just starting kindergarten. She's 4 years old. I usually start them at 4 because they're wanting to learn how to read. So we just do some worksheets. I just have some Abeka worksheets and we just kind of move through that. It's not painful at all. We make it fun. We sing songs. It takes less than an hour. A lot of times half an hour or less, and then she gets to play a lot. So Tori has a list here, and see, she has Wednesday, Thursday. She checked off all of that. Today is the end of Thursday. And so every time I write all the subjects they need at the top right hand corner, so I remember to make sure they have everything on their list every day. But then I write an M next to what they need to do with mom. So in this case, she knows this history book she needs to read herself, and then she comes to me and I ask her the questions for it. She can practice the piano on her own. She can read her reader, which is that, and those are the pages on her own. This is A means audiobook. She can do that on her own. She can do her vocabulary on her own, and then she needs to see me for science and English. And then she can do her math on her own. So then when I meet with her once a week, see, her meeting day is Tuesday. So I do a full week here, 4 days. We do 4-day-a-week schedules. And so on Tuesday, one of her last thing is make a new list or meet with mom. Sometimes I write, but that's a mom thing. So she has to see mom for that one. But I do science and English with Eli and Tori every day. And then a lot of times I have some history thing I have to do with Tori, or I put some things that she can do alone for her history on those days. So we just plan out her whole day, and I do that for each one of them. So Tuesdays I have 2 kids I meet with. Wednesdays I have 2 kids I meet with. Thursday and Friday I meet with 1 kid each, my bigger kids, Judah and Belle. Wednesday is Micah's meeting, so his last one is meet with mom on Wednesday. So that's the next time I'll meet with him. So this is the end of Thursday, so I met with him yesterday afternoon, or yesterday late morning rather. But you can see this morning he came and he was able to do everything, but we're a little behind on checking his math, and I'm wanting to catch up. So on his math, I said he needs to check math 2B with me. So he came to me this morning with that. But he was able to do everything else. So then when I meet with him at the end of the week, I go through all the things that need to be checked for the week, make sure he did them well. We check tests that he took, all of that kind of stuff. This keeps him very independent. He's 11, and he's been this independent for the last year or 2. So I teach them really early to learn out of the books themselves. And then I'm able to check in with them once a week and make sure that they're getting what they need to. They can always come to me if they have questions. But guys, these have been excellent for us. He also has like his subjects up here in the corner, so I remember what he needs to do. The checklists are helping a lot because I can hold them accountable. So I'll tell them, hey, before you go play, you need to show me your checklist. I want to see that you got everything done. And if I was really concerned about whether they're maybe just checking it off and not getting it done, I can have them bring me the work from that too. But it's easy for me to see at a glance what work I wanted them to do that day. So in the first 4 weeks, we've come to the end of, like this week I came to the end of it, and Belle has finished really early. She's like, some days she's finished at 10 a.m. So I realized I need to give her a little more. But I like it when they're able to finish. If they're able to finish by noon, I don't want to just keep giving them more and more work. I think it's great incentive for them to get done early. And some of them, like Luka's, has been taking him a long time. When I meet with him on Tuesday, I'm gonna have to pare back a little bit for him, give him a little less work. And I make some of those adjustments too in this first 4 weeks when I've seen, okay, that's a little too much or whatever. We've made those adjustments as we go, but for the most part, there's a plan there. There's a plan that I've thought out with them. And then for Judah and Belle, I'm giving them a lot of leeway to help make that plan themselves. Because I want them, oh, you got a lot to say. Oh yeah, you want to color? I want them to be able to plan their own days and to be realistic about it. The goal is not that mom always plans my days for me forever. The goal is that I figure out how to plan my own days. So when I'm planning with Judah and Belle, it looks a lot different. I'm asking them, what do you think you should get done every day? How much do you think, and how fast do you want to go through this subject? How quick do you want to be done with it? That kind of thing. The thing that's different about Judah and Belle this semester is they've started college. So they are enrolled in our community college, and up until a few days before we started, they were going to go to the college to do their class. They're both taking college algebra, and they're both getting dual credit for it. They're getting high school and college credit for it, which we found out is actually half the price when you're enrolled in that program, which is awesome. It's great for them to get the college credit. They're taking college algebra. Someone else is in charge of it. I love that. Up until a couple days before, Sola was meeting with one of the advisors, and she was telling him that a lot of homeschoolers do it online. And when we were looking at having a baby in the next couple of months, that kind of thing, getting them to class when Judah's not driving independently yet, we thought maybe this is actually a good time for us to just try it online first. And so we made the switch at the very end to go ahead and do it online. So this has been their first week, and that class gives them the independence to plan. It tells them when their assignments are due. Their assignments and tests are all they are accountable for, but there are lectures and there are textbooks and there are a lot of resources that they can use as they want. So they're looking at when everything is due, and they're planning when they want to listen to the lectures, what days they want to be reading and stuff, so that they can be prepared to have all their assignments in on time. So in that way, they're independent themselves. They've also been doing that. Last year they did it with an online chemistry teacher. We have the same teacher this year who's teaching them physics, so they've already had experience with that. I like that they're being independent that way. And yet I still have, oh, I'm sweating, sorry. I'm a nose sweater. They have accountability to me, and they're also keeping themselves accountable. So it is working all the way around for us. For it to work this well in the first 4 weeks, I know it's something we'll use all this year. And we may stick to this one for a long time. When I have a meeting with them, I have them bring me all their books, all their English and science and their cores for sunlight and everything. And we just plan out their week. And then I can know that when they're working on what they're supposed to be working on, which is always good. So that's how we're doing homeschool this year. Maybe that was somewhat helpful to somebody, I don't know. Destiny, are you writing on my table? You want to learn how to write? You're not supposed to have this. Let's put that away for later, when it's bedtime. Belle's gone at a 90s themed birthday party, which I totally forgot to get a picture of. So she cannot give her opinion, but tell me about your college class. What you think so far, your first impressions. Oh, shh, hush.
It's really hard.
It's hard? Is it hard material?
Yeah.
Or a lot of work for the time?
Kind of both.
Are you glad you just started with one college course?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I guess I could do two if others are different.
If they're not all college algebra.
Yeah.
Trying to clean up the kitchen from a messy dinner. That was super good. That Nigerian chicken was amazing. But anyway, Noelle needs to watch this Sesame Street that we have. It's really old, but it helps them identify the letters really good. And so I've used it for almost all my kids. So now maybe these three will pick it up with her.
Go to ballet in the basement.
You're going to do ballet?
That's the ballet.
Okay. You learn these letters too. Judah and I are off to church now because we have a worship practice. Everything I do in the evening is hard now because I like to be like laying down by 7. What about you? What are you up to?
Can I drive?
Yes.
That's
Yes. Hey Dad, thanks for letting me borrow all your clothes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Dad's pants, Dad's belt, Dad's shirt, Dad's shoes.
Oh, that's
The only thing I'm wearing that's mom's is the earrings. A 90s kid.
You're welcome. What are you having, Hope? Ice cream? What? What do you have to say, Desi? You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's have some dessert here, some ice cream, huh?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, I'll take that as a compliment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sarah and Judah are out to church. Doc came from the 90s party. She's dressed like a 90s person.
All of Dad's clothes.
Yeah.
Except for, of course, these aren't.
And the rest are enjoying their ice cream on a hot summer day.